So here's your digital landscape tutorial. Your digital landscape has to have these four parts. It needs a sky, a background, a middle ground, and a foreground. You have to have all of those layers. You also need to include the other elements we talked about earlier. You need to use position. So have some things have a low position down towards the bottom, and some things have a higher position to make them look farther away. You need overlapping, some objects in front of others. You need to use detail. Some objects you can see lots of detail on, and little objects far away that you can't. Size, you need big things that look close to us and small things that look farther away. And value, remember that's how light or dark something is. The foreground is darkest, the middle ground is lighter, the background is the lightest. And your sky can be anything you want. So here's how you're going to start. You have a lot of digital art skills. You know where the shape tool is? Use the rectangle to make the background. This is your sky. Now we're going to use one of the line tools to create our foreground, middle ground, and background. Let's try using the curve tool. It's above the polyline tool that we used in the mosaics, but you use it the same way. You click and click and click, and you work your way around. I like to start on the side. I go down the side, and then I go across the bottom, and I'm clicking a lot because later on I'm going to be able to adjust it if I need to. I'll show you that in just a little bit. But I'm clicking all the way around. Now, this is my background. I'm doing the background first. This is the highest level of my landscape. And then I click back where I started, if I can find it. And somewhere, there we go. So now I learned this. If you double click it, you see all those little purple dots? Those are where my original clicks were. I can now drag those and adjust my shape if I wanted to change the shape of it. There we go. So now I'm going to color this. Remember, the value of my background needs to be light. I'm going with green. You can use any colors you want as long as the background has the lightest value. Now I'm going to use the curve tool again, and I'm going to make my middle ground. And again, this is my middle ground. I need to choose a middle value. So it's not the lightest and it's not the darkest. Now I'm going to use the curve tool again, and I'm going to make my foreground. Remember, my foreground, this needs to be the darkest value. So now I'm ready to insert images. You know how to go to insert image, search the web, type in what you want, but make sure you add PNG to the end. We want a PNG image that does not have a background with it. So you need to keep in mind using all of those elements: position, overlapping, detail, and size. So if I have a tree, I'm going to make one tree big and one tree small, and I'm really going to make it smaller to put it way, way far away in the background. I'm going to pay attention to position and have some things lower down and some things higher up. On my small trees far away, I can't see as much detail as I can see on the large tree in the foreground. And I'm going to add other objects in so that I can overlap. So I'm paying attention as I'm searching for objects. I'm paying attention to, am I using position? Am I using overlapping? Am I using detail? Am I using size? So pay attention to those things. This is your practice for when we do the oil pastel landscapes next week and the week after that. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get the overlapping right. If you add things far away, you might need to go to arrange, order, send backward, sends it back one level. Each object you put on here is its own level, so sometimes you have to send it backward several times. But if you use the zoom tool, zoom in and you can see your work. So now let's check. Do I have position? So I need to look and see, do I have some things that are low? Yes, I have a low tree and a low bench, and things with higher position, the tree there. Do I have overlapping? Yes, the bench overlaps the tree. Do I have detail? Yes. Do I have size? Yes. I've got small trees and I've got big trees. And value. My foreground is dark, my middle ground is lighter, and my background is lightest of all. I'm done.